Hardcore collecting takes hardcore energy. So make it rain. Make it red rain. What up, YouTube? This is Nate from Thrift Dweller, and welcome to Top 3 Tuesday, our show where we ask you to take an introspective look at the question of the video and rank your responses from 3 to 1. We don't take this that seriously, so please don't be afraid to share your responses to today's question in the comments below. So I got inspired to do today's video because I was recently kind of taking an inventory of my entire video game collection, which is quite a bit, and a lot of things that I forgot I had. So the topic for today's video are 3 interesting items from my collection that I would not be hesitant to sell. But before we get into the video, I wanted to do a shout out to everybody who helped us on episode 0, the test episode of Top 3 Tuesday. Scrolling here, all these people responded in the comments below to the previous video, which was top 3 wrestlers who were dead ringers to play video game characters in a movie. A very long question, but I thought it was pretty fun. Got some really interesting responses here, but a big shout out to everyone who did respond to that video, and it kind of helped us out with questions and stuff. A question that we will be tackling on Top 3 Tuesday was brought up by Canadian Blu-ray, and he asked the question, our top 3 favorite video game movies. Now, I wanted to do that for this video, but that took a little bit longer. I kind of want to put a little bit more thought into that one, so look for that one coming up in a future video. So, or maybe just get your responses ready. My responses to that question will be pretty ridiculous. Just saying. But some of the highlights from the previous video, Saul Winberger had two very interesting picks that I thought were really next level. He didn't just match wrestlers to video game characters, but he also matched the gimmicks of those characters, and it fit perfectly. He thought The Miz could do a modern day Johnny Cage, which was like, dang, why didn't I see that?
Where do you get these guys?
Brian Escobar said that Rob Van Dam would play the perfect Guile in a movie. And amazingly, from out of nowhere, EdT1138, the original creator of Top 3 Tuesday. But again, thank you to everybody who responded to the previous video. Don't forget to respond to the question of today's video. Also, if you want to be extra awesome, please share Top 3 Tuesday on your social media networks. That would be very much appreciated. But yes, Top 3 Tuesday, episode 1, the official first episode of Top 3 Tuesday. The question was, what are 3 interesting items from my video game collection that I have no problem selling? Number 3 on my list. I got this one pretty recently. I'm going to say it's about 2 years now. If you saw the pickup video for it, you kind of know the story. One of my coworkers was like, hey, do you collect Nintendo games still? I kind of had a poster on our community board at work where it said, video game items, sell them to me, look in your attic, look in your closet, I will give you a fair price. So my coworker, really sweet lady, she's like, do you have Action 52? And I was like, no, I do not have Action 52. And this was at a point where I wasn't really looking for the game, but I know it was valuable. Like at the time it was, I think, $125 loose. So I told my coworker her son was looking for a Super Nintendo, so I gave her a Super Nintendo with some games of equal value to a loose copy of Action 52. So she comes to work the next day. I give her the console, with a Donkey Kong Country in it and some controllers and I think a couple other games for their cabin. And she gives me a complete in-box Action 52. Complete in-box. And at the time, I think the game was only worth somewhere around like $200, complete in box. So I patted on some money and she's trying to give it back to me. I was like, no, you take the money. Trust me. It's worth it. So I gave her a Super Nintendo, a couple of Super Nintendo games, and like $60 cash to kind of make myself not feel bad. And like literally a couple months later, the game kind of shot up in value. I don't know why. And I thought, it's kind of a cool novelty piece to have in my collection. I kind of forgot I had it for a while because I've never touched it since I bought it. I only tested it for a little bit to make sure it worked. I did try to sell it at a convention knowing I probably would not get what I wanted for it. But the game works, it's perfect. There's a little crack on the cartridge, but again, this one is complete in box, kind of. I think there's a comic book with this. But still, nonetheless, I mean, you show up with the money. This game means nothing to me. I played it for a little while after I got it, and I was like, man, this is the most ridiculous cartridge I've ever played in my life. But again, number 3 for an item in my collection that I have no problem selling, complete in box, no comic book, Action 52. Number 2 on this list. I got this from a Value Village. I can't remember how long ago. I was never really on the hunt for an Atari, but then I found one of these wood grain Ataris, which looks really killer. I think just the aesthetic of this is very indicative of the era that it came from, and it's classic now. It's antique. I love the wood grain on this thing. I think it was only $12.99 that I picked this console up for. And I grew up in the, I guess, Nintendo era. I was born 1980s, and the Nintendo was brand new. I guess Atari was already phasing out. It phased out already. And I grew up as a Nintendo kid, so all my emotional attachment to retro video games really started with Nintendo, and there was nothing in the Atari era. So I picked this up, a really good price considering what people are selling Ataris nowadays for, and I only plugged it in to make sure it worked, and I never touched it for like 4 or 5 years. I forgot this was even in my closet. I have this gigantic overflow of items in my video game closet storage thing, and it was in the back there. I forgot I had it, and I was like, God dang, I should pull this out. I pulled it out, I put it on display in this game room, but I have no sentimental attachment to this. And probably a lot of people giving me heat right now and are not happy with me saying that Atari's not that good. That's just my opinion. And I would sell this thing to you. If you came up with the right price for it, I would have no problem selling this. It's the only Atari in my collection. And yeah, if I got rid of it for a good price, I wouldn't hurt. I would still feel complete. So yeah, if you want to make an offer on any of these items, message me on Facebook. And number 1, one of the first pickups ever, and I literally mean ever, in the history of Thrift Dweller, we started doing like blogs. Like, you would read an article written by Lester or Nate. And yeah, we went to Value Village literally a couple days after we started writing this blog about retro video game hunting at the thrift store, hence the name Thrift Dweller. And I found on the wall a factory sealed, this is a factory sealed Super Mario Land 2, the 6 golden coins, the first appearance of Wario. $5, $4.99 I got this for. I'm pretty sure if I looked online, the article is still there. I got that from Value Village for $5. And this kind of brings up another topic for me about video game collecting, retro video game collecting. A lot of people are kind of getting into the factory sealed game, and I'm not per se. Like, I got this for $5, and I'm gonna be very selfish when I sell it. I'm not gonna take a lot less from market value of what it's worth. Even though I only paid $5 for it, I wouldn't sell it unless you came up with pretty close to full retail on it. That's just me personally being selfish. It's season 7. We're selling out. What can I say? But yeah, let me know your thoughts about sealed game collecting. I'm not big into the factory sealed game, and for me, I'm almost scared to hold on to this. The longer I do, the more I have a chance of ruining this packaging. This, I'm pretty sure, is legit factory sealed. It has all the hallmarks of being factory sealed. I mean, if you look at the back, it has a really tight H seam here. And the main thing I always look for factory sealed games is you got to look at the top flap here, right? There's going to be no crease on the color. There's going to be no color breaks on this because it's only been folded down and left there like from the factory. So the only time it'll ever get a crease is when you first open it and lift the flap up to take the game out. You're going to cause a permanent crease here that factory sealed games should never have. So don't forget to come back every Tuesday. I'm going to be trying to do this very regularly on this channel. We will at least respond to every person who takes the time to respond to this video sooner, not like a year from when this video comes out, but if you respond to this video rather quickly, we will respond to your response. That's a lot of response. Also, if you want to share some of the items that you have in your collection that are very interesting that you have no problem selling, find us on Facebook, facebook.com/thriftdweller. Send us a picture and we will link it on our Facebook feed. Again, this is Nate from Thrift Dweller. Thank you very much. Season 7, the final season. What does that mean? Subscribe to the channel, find out.